This is another episode of the Kobe Bryant Film Room. And I wanted to kind of go through the differences between now in 2023 and 2010. Listen to how Hubie Brown, a coach, breaks down the game. This is way different than what we see on these shows, right? We get to see a man go through X's and O's, really break it down instead of just saying catchphrases and just saying, well, he could put it all on his shoulders and all this other lingo, right? Now listen to him talk.
With the NBA Finals, you mentioned to some of us out there just the key that Andrew Bynum brought in terms of minutes and production. How did his presence and just his ability to overcome his injury change the complexion and dynamic of what the Lakers have?
Well, I think when you look at game one, naturally his numbers are down from during the season. Right. You don't look at numbers when you're talking about this type of a talent, because when you put Bynum out there for 28 productive minutes, just don't look at the stats. Look at...
You hear that? Now this is a coach, a Hall of Fame coach. He said you don't just look at the stats. What you do is you see his value on the defensive end. You see his value rebounding the ball. You see his intimidation factor of him guarding the basket, keeping guys out of the lane, right? Now watch this.
The rotations that he was able to make where the knee held up. Now remember, will it hold up here as we move along to how many games?
So of course you guys know that Andrew Bynum had knee issues during that whole run. So whenever you hear people say, oh, well, Andrew Bynum is a big part of why Kobe won, and what about Andrew Bynum? Andrew Bynum was on minute restrictions, right? He was giving it all he had by playing in some of these series. And, for the minutes he played, he did well. But he was not as big of a factor as people are trying to make him seem, right? Watch Hubie explain this.
That's question number one. Now, in game one, he was excellent on the rotations. And then when the arms go up in the intimidation, when you add that to the soul, you have the 2 7-footers who don't really leave their feet, but because of their size and their arm length,
yes, sir,
they intimidate you from trying to finish. Never mind going to the hole. So
this is basketball, y'all. This is X's and O's. This is the science behind the game, right? The intimidation factor, the size, the length, the skill level. He's going through it. He's walking through basketball. This is a basketball conversation. What you see with Nick Wright, the Skip Baylesses, the Shannon Sharps, the Stephen A. Smiths, those are not serious basketball conversations. Those are fanboy conversations. Those are guys pushing propaganda and pushing sensationalism, right? And trying to glorify one guy over the concept of a team. Right? Now listen to this.
Well, they talk you out with the intimidation factor, and then the player sees you coming and you change your shot. Now in game one, the Celtics did not react, and you say, well, why not? And the answer is because they haven't played against two guys this tall, this athletic, that didn't get in foul trouble and were able to make the necessary rotation.
So game one was an adjustment period for the Boston Celtics because they rarely seen the Lakers in the East Coast, right?
My big question is, can they do it as we move throughout the series?
What do you think will determine if they're able to do that?
Well, first of all, it's going to come down to the injury factor. That's number one. And then number two, it's going to come down to foul trouble. Because in this series, when you go to Gasol and Odom, you become much smaller. Now, it didn't bother you against Utah. It didn't bother you against Phoenix. Now, you did have trouble in the first round with Oklahoma City. But in this series, you need size. Now in game one, Odom was on the floor for only 19 minutes. You need more than that. Now that's fine. You need more than that. But is it because Gasol's in foul trouble? You need the points from Gasol. Now, if it's Bynum in foul trouble, you need the shot blocking and rotating. So it would be nice to see if Phil could get a nice Gasol at 36, 38 minutes, Odom maybe 28 to 32, and Bynum stays in that 28, and can he get 30 minutes?
Right. With the production at Kobe.
So you see the vast difference between him and a Stephen A. Smith. This is a logical basketball conversation, you guys. This is X's and O's, this is strategy, this is technique, this is a well thought explanation of what we were to see in the 2010 battle for it all, right? Now let's go.
Put together this playoff series. I think 10 of the past 4 games has been 30 points. Then obviously just the way he's directed the offense and played defensively. How would you compare this postseason performance from him compared to other years?
Well, I just go with Jerry West said. And Jerry West has been around Kobe because he's the one who initiated the trade in the first place and is his biggest fan. So I would say if Jerry West said this is the best basketball that Kobe has ever played as a Laker, I think that I would say, yes, okay. I don't think I'm going to doubt Jerry West. Because I do believe that he's known as a fairly decent evaluator. No, what you get with Kobe right now is the high shooting percentage. The shooting.
Hold on, wait. I thought he was inefficient. He was inefficient, guys. He was just a shot chucker, right? Now, let me rewind that for the people in the back who still hold this inefficient argument.
Known as a fairly decent evaluator. No, what you get with Kobe right now is the high shooting percentage.
Wait a minute, high shooting percentage? What? Dick Wright said, yeah.
Shooting percentage from the field during the 17 games. And then the key factor. You know he's going to shoot in the 80s on the line, but then the ultra key is the three-point shooting. Throughout the first 17, he's averaging 5 attempts behind the three-point line, which for him is a lot. But the fact he's shooting over 40%. So he's become more dangerous from that area. So even if you trap him, which Phoenix did a number of times, he was able to elevate with the clock down behind the three-point line and still knock it down. Well, in order to do that, A, the ankle is better. B, the knee that everyone was worried about before Phoenix is better. And then C, the finger. He's got it down pat now on the release of the...
So let's go back on that.
He's known as a fairly decent evaluator. No, what you get with Kobe right now is the high shooting percentage. The shooting percentage from the field during the 17 games. And then the key factor. You know he's going to shoot in the 80s on the line, but then the ultra key is the three-point shooting. Throughout the first 17, he's averaging 5 attempts behind the three-point line, which for him is a lot.
Back then, that was high, right? It ain't like now.
But the fact he's shooting over 40%. So
over 40% from 3. Y'all hear that shit? In the playoffs, 17 games, he was scorched to earth, man. Come on.
He's become more dangerous from that area. So even if you trap him, which Phoenix did a number of times, he was able to elevate with the clock down behind the three-point line and still knock it down. Well, in order to do that, A, the ankle is better. B, the knee that...
So 2010, Kobe was dealing with a ankle injury plus a broken finger, right? So we guys talk about the field goal percentage. That shit goes out the window when you're playing the best defensive team in the league in the finals with a broken finger. So that shit goes out the window. It's time to grind and it's time to get a W.
Everyone was worried about before Phoenix is better. And then C, the finger. He's got it down pat now on the release of the basketball. He needs all three to be healthy.
Looking ahead to game 2, you mentioned a lot of just the different adjustments that Boston may try to make in terms of combating the Lakers' size. What other adjustments from their end do you anticipate?
Well, they have to do something on the weak side of the triangle. Because in game 1, anytime that the Lakers, say, would go to the left side of the floor at the triangle, reverse the ball back to the right side, this is where they hurt him. Now,
so how many people in the media you hear explain the triangle? None, right? They just see niggas running around in circles and don't go through this. This is an explanation of basketball. This is the genius of basketball, the strategy, the technique.
as I pitch the ball to the man coming to the foul line, it's a two-man game. I either would turn the corner, get the ball back, go in and lay it up before the man playing, the pivot man on the left side of the lane, rotated to me. If he did get to me, we had a 2-on-1 with his man going to the rim, and they could not do anything about it because of space.
So the triangle offense, what's special about it, it gave you a lot of options and a lot of possibilities out of those sets. It allowed an adjustment on the fly. So it was always a counter move on top of a counter move on top of a counter move with the deadliest threats on the court.
That has to be the first adjustment. Or I would hit the flash post guy. I would go around, not get it, I would go to the corner. The post guy would turn around and take you off the dribble, and now they had you in a high-low, but it was a diagonal high-low. So once I take you off the dribble, that other low post guy comes and rotates to me, we have you 2-on-1. Now, that must be solved as we move through, or the Celtics are in a lot of trouble. Because right now, Boston's got to look at that. Even LA has got to look at it and say, you know what, we can get to the rim in that area.
So that's special, right? That's special. That breakdown was so special because you guys don't hear that in today's climate. You just don't. You guys hear sensationalism. You see dudes on TV with goat masks. It's just a joke. Now we got 4 football players talking about basketball. Right? None of the guys on the show play basketball. So I just wanted to show y'all what basketball talk really is. This is Kobe Bryant Film Room. I'm out.